And we are recording. Okay, so welcome to Heart Center Conversations. I'm so excited about this podcast and so excited for the person that you're going to meet because I was just talking to her and I have all of her blends right in front of me that smell so delicious. And so I'm excited that you'll get to see her and hopefully connect with her also. So this is Bella Cirovic. Did I say it right?
Yes,
From
Bella Cirovic.
Intention Blends. So, um, welcome to Heart Center Conversations, this little
Thank
podcast.
you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you.
I'm so happy that you're here. We were just talking, and I will tell the story about how I first came across you because I had to think back because I have been following you for a while. I don't remember when you made this original blend. It had to have been at least 2 years ago.
Yeah,
But before we talk about that, can you just tell us about yourself and, where you're at, what you're doing, and just give us a little taste and then we'll just
sure.
go from there.
Sure. Well, my name is Bella Cirovic, and I have a perfume oil company that I am in year three of. I always say I have a 5 year business plan, and I'm right smack in the middle of this idea I had to create oils that help support how you want to feel and to be. And I used to make them for myself, and friends of mine said, no, this is your work in the world and you need to share this. So that's how I did the formation of the company. And I really started my company not knowing what I was doing. I have a background in retail and the makeup artist industry, but the retail stores that I worked at back in the 90s, when I was in my 20s, they all had an oil bar where you could create your own perfume or bath and body products. And that's where that beginning of that relationship began, with that love of blending oils. So I live here on the East Coast in a small suburban town outside of New York City. And, I'm in a phase of my life where my daughter is all grown up and in college. And now this is just a time where I don't have any children running around. It just feels like a really nice, soft beginning of me time.
Yeah,
So,
nice.
yeah,
So you got a daughter in college, huh?
yes, but she's commuting and staying home now because of COVID. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the situation. Pretty much just a lot of at home stuff right now.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, okay. So these blends. And
yeah.
again, so you're only in year three?
Only in year three, and I I had worked for years and years in retail shops where they had the custom blending bar. I think the Body Shop had one. The store I worked at was called Garden Botanica. It no longer exists. And that's where the passion started. And there was a fork in the road, and I kind of went a different direction. Maybe about 7 years ago, I went to a retreat. I don't know if you've heard of the Squam Art Workshops retreat. Um,
Uh,
they're held by, the founder is a woman named Elizabeth who lives in Providence. And she began her business just like that. It's a small retreat, and it grew and grew and grew. And one year she did a Squam in the City retreat, and we had a class at a natural perfumery store where there was a very well known natural perfumer. Um, she's someone I look up to so much because she's very big in that world. And we had 2 days of classes with her, and that just ignited again this love of blending for me. And from there, that's when I started. And well, that happened. I went to that retreat, had the perfumery class, and that passion was reignited. And then I came home and I ran into a friend who I hadn't seen since high school. And she says, you seem, while we were in conversation, she said, you seem like you're a little out of it. Let me take this essential oil I have and just take like a little whiff. She rubbed it in her hand and she did this. And I was like, I feel like a different person. So it was those two things that happened at the same time. And then I just kind of started buying some oils and blending supplies and doing that kind of work at home.
Cool.
Yeah, those were the beginning.
Yay. I love it because I also sell essential oils, and at our shop, I would blend some oils,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not something for me that, it's like I always forget what I'm doing. And I don't know. I have found your stuff and I'm like, I don't need to blend anything anymore. I'm just going to buy everything that she has. So again, I was trying to figure out, when I had asked you to be on the podcast, like when,
Yeah.
because I have been following you for so long. And I was like, how did I come across her stuff? And then I had to think, Nessa Howard,
Yeah.
I did a, rattle making workshop with her, and I hope to get her on the podcast too. But then she had a rewilding group for, I don't even know, we might have gone for like 4 or 5, 6 months. I don't
Yeah.
even remember, but it was
Yeah.
this
She does
long,
them for long periods of
long
time.
periods.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I knew when I went through her rattle making workshop that I just loved everything about her. So I wanted to do this rewilding with her. And she sent us the rewilding wholeness body oil blend from you. So I think this is the very first thing that I have from you. And of course I looked you up and
Mm-hmm.
had to have more. But yes, and I was like, where's that bottle? Where's that bottle? Because I don't use it very often. I did put it in a roller so that I could roll it all over my body. And it smells very earthy to me.
Yeah. Well, the process Nissa and I went through, first of all, I've known Nissa for a long time through these online channels. And Nissa even taking a chance to work with me meant so much. And it helped kind of grow my business in that way where I could now offer this service to women who hold year-long programs or retreats, and they want something to give the participants a piece of. And that's really what she wanted, everyone to have the same oil. So we did a exchange of testers back and forth, and she ended up landing on this one, which was one of the first ones we put together. There was something about it that she loved, and I loved it too. And that is something that like I told you, I will offer to her participants to always purchase. I'll always keep the recipe for them.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know that. And
yes,
Nissa might have told us that, but at that
yeah,
point, I was probably had a focus differently and didn't hear it, or I don't know, but that's really exciting to me. So, I love I have my blends here. So I want you to talk about what is your process? Like, for instance, okay, so I got the chill, which I
yeah,
absolutely love. I am
yeah.
loving this one. And it is an oil of lavender, cedarwood, and vetiver with
Mm-hmm.
lavender flower. So, how do you go about the process of finding your blends or creating your blends?
Okay. It's a three-part process. The first part is really the vision and the intention behind, like, what do I want to create and why do I want to create it? And most of the time, my blends come to life from a feeling I have, maybe something I'm going through in my life, or some changes I want to make. That's the absolute first part. And then I consult with my book to see, well, which oils and plants and roots, what supports the way I'm feeling, or what could help me feel better around this, or help me make changes around it. Um, and once I get that information, I'll write it down, keep a notebooks galore with recipes, and all my little notes are written in notebooks. which by the way, I back up with pictures on top of pictures,
Yeah.
put it in a safe. Like you have to keep all this stuff. And then the other part, the third part is when you have all that information, you have like what you want and kind of the ingredients you could be using to sit down and create something. Then I think the process of perfumery blending, which makes sense where there is a base note, a top note, a middle note. I use that process and some of the oils and create something. Now, I will throw in an oil that maybe doesn't completely support that intention, but might enhance the fragrance profile
Yeah.
because I have the two things going on. I have that real deep like intuition work on what I want to create. And then I have the perfumer's mind of, well, how can I lift this fragrance to another place? So I think it's a combination of both. But I love that process. It's so much fun for me to sit down and just have all these little bottles in front of me. And if you're dealing with essential oils, you know, this is real life plant matter that you're dealing with at a heavy concentration. So you have to be really mindful with how you're using them. But I honestly can say that since I started working with them, I truly believe in their power to help change, not change, but help to either brighten and enhance your mood. It almost feels, I keep saying the word support, feels very supportive to me. So yeah, that is kind of how the making happens.
Yeah. It sounds like a really intuitive, deep, like heart level process. Do you,
Yeah, I think so. I think that I've never created just to create, but just to like, oh, I want to make a perfume. No, there's always been a really something going on with me that's happened or happening. And I remember the first couple of times I did that, I would share the oil with someone and they're like, this is so fantastic. This is so good. I feel so good with this. You need to share this. And that's how I ended up creating a small business doing this, because I feel like it is a form of healing work in a way when you're creating something that is going out in the world and it's going to help the person who receives it for whatever they're going through, you know, not just to keep it for myself, but to share that work with everyone else.
yeah. And so you have a lot of different blends. What's your favorite? You have a favorite?
This is a hard question to answer because I do have favorites and I'll tell you them. And notice I say favorites, not favorite.
You did say favorites.
Yeah, when I sit down to make them, I fall in love with them all over again. Like maybe I won't wear like a forest floor for a couple of months and then I have to make a batch. I'm like, why haven't I worn this? I love this oil. Okay, so my absolute favorite oil that I make is, it's a Thai, Mercy.
Okay.
And Glisten.
Glisten.
Yeah.
I'm so excited because I'm getting that as a sample.
Oh my gosh, did I put it in your package?
I don't know, but it's
have.
the next one that I'm getting. I know for sure. It is the next one that I'm getting. So Mercy. So Mercy is part of a set that you have.
Yes, Mercy is part of my Intention Blend line. So the company is named after this line of oils called Intention Blends. And there's 6 oils in the line. Each oil is made for a specific purpose. And each oil has a crystal inside to kind of enhance the vibration of the oil.
Yes.
So Mercy is for a deep sense of compassion for yourself and other people. It was at a time when I was really struggling with body issues, you know, I was looking for oils around support of trying to just really embrace where I was with my body and learning to love on myself a little bit better. Um, and the oils of patchouli and grapefruit are really good support in that area. Of course, I added a little extra to make it smell delicious. That's
Uh-huh.
the amber and the lotus, which are more spicy. And it has a garnet chip inside, which is really soothing
Oh,
and
that's the one that
grounding
I
and helps you
need.
feel, yeah. So each one of those oils, and I'll tell you, we have Mercy, Repair, Clarity, Activate, Trust, and Love. And they're a beautiful set to have. So you have one for every occasion, but I think that it's easy to distill down to the all-knowing question of how do I want to feel, and then you choose which one you want to wear. Yeah, so I have those intention blends. Then I have a couple of body oils. I have Beloved and Glisten. Those are body oils. And they're kind of like all-purpose body oils, but for specific reasons. Again, Beloved was another self-love oil with really delicious ingredients that are heart-centered, like rose, like grounding cedarwood. There's a little orange blossom in there. And then Glisten was a blend I created for the winter time when you're having those winter blues, and the sun hasn't been shining for days and everything just feels really gray. Glisten was the blend I created for inviting a little bit of joy and sunshine into your life, because it's got the sandalwood oil, which is again another like very grounding oil, but it also has the wild orange, which is that beautiful citrus fruit that lifts you up in joy and grows on a tree and is infused with sunshine. I always feel when I wear my Glisten, I'm wearing sunshine. So those are the body oils, and then a couple other oils. I have some moon oils, a new moon and a full moon oil to wear around any rituals you do around the full moon and new moon, card pulls or ceremonies.
Yeah.
Those smell delicious. And the last three is the plant infusion line, which is the chill, the low key, and the sensual, which is more natural with the plants right inside. There's some anxiety support there and some creative and love support there. So yeah,
Cool.
that kind of rounds
So
that out.
the body oil then is the same as the plant infusion, right? Those are the same, except this has more plants and this has more just
Yes.
of the essential oils and.
Yes, there is a
Okay.
lower concentration of oils in the plant infusion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because is
Yeah.
so.
But also when you put essential oils into a base oil, they bloom,
Oh,
You could put a drop in today and shake it up, but smell it tomorrow. Once it's had a chance to like move around in that base oil,
yeah.
Yeah.
The chill I use, I leave it by my bed and I just like open it and then put it all over and just every single time before bed and just everywhere. And then you also have rollers.
Yes.
So your intention blends are more, do you feel like those are more perfumey or are they kind of the same as your rollers?
I feel like the intention blends are while they do have that perfumey aspect, you're going to smell delicious whichever one you're using. They are more based in kind of supporting how you want to feel.
Okay.
But I think all my oils are in some
I
way
think so
because
too.
I have the rollers, and those are more geared toward your meditation and prayer practices. So you have the forest floor. You have the May It Be So, which is a manifesting oil for
That's
people.
the one that I have. Yes, I have that
Yeah,
one too.
yeah, and then I have one that is specifically a perfume, and that's called Sanctuary. And it was
Okay.
one of my original oils from when I started, I had three true perfume oils. I had to take two of them out of my line though, because my supplier stopped selling certain ingredients, and I tried really hard to get it to smell the same, and it wouldn't with other ingredients. So I just stopped making them, which I'm a little sad about, but it left room for me to create something new.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of everything in the line. You have, if you're looking for something for your meditation practices, or just something to support you when you're going through something. In the Intention Blends line, there are oils for focus. There's oils for learning to help you go through the process of trusting again. Activate is when you're ready to take that big leap in your life, that supports through that. So there's like a variety of reasons why you would choose which one you choose.
Yeah. And what I love also about your oils is that I get a this page of stuff, like, and it makes it like so much. And the stuff that I mean is like you're writing out what almost like the intention of this certain blend and what it has in it and what each ingredient is for. And I love that because again, like, it means more to me when I'm wearing it because I know exactly what is in it and the intention in it, and the
Yeah.
ingredients, and what this ingredient is for this and this ingredient is for that. And so I love that about your company, because it's not that I'm just getting this blend, but I'm getting everything that you created in it, and why you
There's,
created it, and what's it for, and how it's going to support me. And I keep those, and like I can go back if I forget, like, okay, what is this for again? And it kind of does, it makes me feel that way when I put it on, because I really know the intention of what it was created for and why I'm putting it on right now. So I do love that. I love that.
Thank you for that mirror back, because I put a lot of heart and soul into everything I put out. So just to hear it is like, I'm glad that
Yeah,
people are feeling it.
I feel it. So you also are doing a oil of the month.
Yes. Yes. I've always wanted to do this, and I didn't know how to make it happen. And I've learned that you just have to jump in and do it,
Yeah.
and do it the best way that you can, but it'll probably look messy until you refine the process. And that's just what I've been doing. So I really am so thankful to my subscribers who started with me, because they have seen the evolution of how it's changed. But this was for two reasons. The first and foremost reason was I, I want to be playing with the oils and blending constantly. I have made so many good blends that I've never been able to share, because I can't be that perfume company that has like 100 different blends.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, this is a really great idea where you can do like a blend of the month with a theme. Of course, it could be centered around the holiday of that month or the season. And then the other part was I was trying to find building the business part of this company, because like now there's two things. There's like the passion and the how, or am I going to make this so it can financially sustain me. So
Yeah.
this is my job now. So that was to build a part of the business where I have a certain amount of income coming in every month that is guaranteed because they're subscribing to this service. So I love it because it's just like when you do a subscription service, you never know what's going to arrive. You kind of get like an idea with the theme, but you don't know what the
Yeah.
oil is going to be. And I spend like the month before, playing around with the theme and exploring different oils and ideas, and constantly trying to think of ways to make it better, you know? And then doing that has brought me a little bit of a bigger audience, I feel like, through my social media platform. So I'm engaging with a lot more people, but also like the turnarounds where you want this to be bring in some income into the business, I've been able to like reinvest in better packaging, or like I'm so excited about this. I just had tissue paper made with my company logo printed on it.
Nice.
So like little things like that make the experience like even more special. I just really enjoy. So I'm excited about this service. I hope I get to do it for a long time. Yeah, as long as I'm able to do it, I will do it.
Yeah. I find that
Yeah.
it is a very reasonably priced subscription. Like I saw it and I was like, yeah, I want oils every month. Like sign
Yeah.
me up. And I love that you do like little discounts. Like, if I'm getting something anyways, I can add
Yes.
something, which I think what
Right.
I've been doing is kind of going through all of your stuff. I have the heart elixir coming.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I really felt like I needed that. I'm going through a breathwork training, and I'm working through some grief, and I'm going to be using that oil to really support this process. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just kind of been going through your site and like, okay, what do I want to get next? And like strategically, like, adding to my collection. But I also love that I'm getting, the oil of the month. And I
Yeah.
got release in January and passion for February. And, I've got the forest floor because I think I saw that because I went to South Dakota and I love South Dakota and I felt so grounded. And your oil has spruce, fir, cedarwood, and pine. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I need that blend. Like I
You
need
need all the
that.
trees
I
to
need all the
anchor
trees.
you.
I need the energy of South Dakota, just that feeling of being in that foresty area. And of course, it's getting low. So it was something that when I
Yeah.
came back, I really wanted that terribly bad. And, just so I'm so excited to get these oils again. Like I love essential oils, but I don't necessarily love to do my own blends. I would
Right.
I I would rather find someone who's, this is their gift that they are doing and providing, and it's like, yes, thank you. I love the intention, the intentionalness behind it. I feel like, do you feel like for you that it's kind of grown since you started, of how deep that intention goes?
I do, because now that some time has passed, that I've built up this client base of people, and I think something I have to do is put a check on the map everywhere my oils have gone. But
Yeah.
the feedback that you get from the places where you send your oils out, the people that contact you and say, thank you, this helped me through, I'm going through this, this oil helped me through this. It just confirms and makes it real that your oil ends up in someone's hand and it's really helping them through something. So that has deepened my love for this practice, and also giving me a respect and an honor in doing that work, because I know where it's going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've really loved over the years, seeing how it evolved. Yes, it gets a little bigger. Yes, it it grows, but the heart of it is the healing that happens when someone has that oil in their hand for themselves, and being a part of that creative process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your, because I know you had this 3-part process, like, do you have like a spiritual practice where you meditate and these things come to you? Or I know that you said it's kind of sometimes something that you need for yourself.
Yeah, it could be something I'm going through or looking for. I get inspiration from listening to people's stories, what they're going through, or where we are in the world. For instance, like because we were in COVID and still in COVID times, that's
Ooh.
why I was trying to keep my price points down, is because I wanted people to be able to have these things like a subscription that they could afford. Um, but practice-wise, I wish I had a practice. I need a practice. I used to meditate years ago. I developed an anxiety disorder, and it was the whole thing, you know, when you go to the ER because you think you're having the heart attack, but it's actually a panic attack. So from then, I started meditation, but not seriously. And it's something I keep saying, you need to, you need to, you need to. And I just haven't. The best practice for me is being in nature, walking outside in nature. I love that. And I'll do it in any weather. That's really like the only practice. I definitely for 2021 want to incorporate more like real mindful movement and like some type of yoga or something. Because I'm also getting to a place where, you know, things hurt when you wake up in the morning.
Yes.
That didn't hurt 10 and 20 years ago. And meditation, like I don't have a serious practice, but I do love the Calm app. Mostly because they have the Cillian Murphy and Harry Styles and that are leading meditations. I'm like, oh, I love their voices. Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's see. I had a question in my brain that just exited.
It happens when I said in these COVID times.
You did make a spray. Is it a spray?
Oh, yes. I developed
for the mask.
Yes, that's a new product that I created first, again, for myself, and then put it in the shop. And it was a spray. It's called Inhale, Exhale, and it's a mask refresher mist. So it's for when we're out and about wearing our cloth masks during the day, and you're supposed to wash them every night. But if you have one in the morning that you've worn and you want to wear it in the evening when you go out again, you just give it a spritz and it kind of refreshes it for you. And plus you're getting the essential oils right there so you can breathe in. They're all very clarifying, calming, and relaxing oils. So that's been a great addition, I think, now.
Yes, definitely. I did see that on there. I was like, gosh, what do I get next? I have, again, had so much fun with it, just, you know, putting them on all the time, especially being at home. You know, I don't get to go out much, but for me, you know, just having them in my environment and carrying them with me and putting them on and all of those things has been like so beneficial for me. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that people, when they hear this or watch this, really go to her website, find one that really resonates with you. Maybe start with one and try it out and see. I'm certain that they'll just be like, I gotta have another. Well, or get the whole set.
Yes. Oh, that's possible too. I just created the oil bar experience in the shop. I don't know if you've seen that.
That's what I was going to ask you about. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's a really good experience for someone who wants to create their own oil. And it reminds me of the oil bars where I started mixing and creating. So I have the bottles and the oil, the base oil, and then I offer a bunch of different essential oils that you can mix together and make your own blends. I also have add-ons like dried flowers or crystals that you can put in. So if a person comes to my site and they're not seeing anything that they really vibe with, or I remember being at a market once and a customer came up and asked me, do you have just peppermint oil? And I said, no. And I was trying to think of a way I could offer that to somebody if they wanted just peppermint oil for headaches or whatever. So the concept of the oil bar was born. And again, it was another thing I sat on for a while because I didn't know how to bring it to I sell a lot online if I'm not in market season.
Right.
So it was one of those things I'm like, just put it out there and we'll refine it as we go. And that's been really popular because people will come and look at the oils and say, oh, I'd love an oil with just geranium or just lavender, and they create it for themselves. You
Huh.
just go into the site and you can choose 1 or 2 oils, because
Okay.
anything more than 2, it'll get will get mixed up,
Okay.
and then you can choose your add-ons. And then if you have any special instructions, like if someone chose 2 oils, like let's say for example, like a tangerine and a sandalwood, and they want to smell like more of the sandalwood and less of the tangerine, then they can put that in the notes for me. And then I
Okay.
just blend it up. I give them their recipe, how I did it. So if they want to buy one again, I'll know how to do it.
Okay.
That's been really popular. And that's
Mm.
yeah,
I'm gonna do
also,
that.
yeah,
I
it's a
wasn't
good,
quite sure what that was. It almost seemed like, if you were in person, you could, try this. So I didn't really look at that very deeply, but that is exciting. I think I'm gonna
yeah.
try that.
And then I do this thing where I switch out oils every month. Like I'll put 2 new oils in every month.
Uh-huh.
That'll change. And then I'll choose like a recipe for the month. So now for February, there's a blend. Like
Okay.
February, I added, I'll tell you, ruby red grapefruit and geranium, which I thought were very um, good, like color wise for the month of February, but also the relaxing and the focusing on self love when we're in this big month of love.
Right, right.
Yeah,
So can somebody then say like, this is how I want to feel. I like these gemstones. What if I picked like, for me, I'm thinking like, I love sandalwood, but I
yeah,
also really need something very grounding, especially. So I'm getting the heart elixir, which after we talk about this, you'll have to explain what elixir is, what the difference between that oil is. But I love sandalwood, but I need something very grounding as I move through this process. But
yeah,
also first and second chakra, I'm looking for. So
right.
I don't even know what the second oil would be to have in that, but I do know that the gemstone garnet is my stone that I try to always use as I'm trying to get grounded. So
Yeah.
I guess like what would be
So
something that you would recommend for that?
probably like a another grounding oil. So sandalwood is a wood oil. It's already very grounding. I might add a frankincense just
Oh,
because
yes.
also comes from the tree, and but a totally different smell. It doesn't smell woody to me. It's more spicy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would probably do a frankincense. And I keep myself open to a lot of dialogue. If you have questions, I'm always open for DM or
Okay.
email, and we can have that dialogue beforehand, and discuss. I've had situations where that's happened. People have consulted with me for advice, or I've had people just reach out and say, "Can you mix me something up that you really love?" Or can you send me in this price range a surprise oil?
Ooh.
Yeah, I had one client for the holidays. They wrote me an email saying, I want a gift for myself for Christmas, but I don't know what it is. I'll pay you the money and you just send it to me and send it wrapped.
Nice.
And I did that, and they were able to open it on Christmas Day and be surprised.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so I feel like I am um, like boutique small enough where I still have a lot of dialogue with my clients and customers. I want to always have that. I don't want to grow into this great big thing. I want to be known where I live as the local oil lady, and I
Yeah.
love to be in stores local to me. Um, and to always be small enough where there is the connection between me and the person I'm getting the oils to.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I did not know that you were doing all of that stuff. Like that
There's I
sounds,
it's not even something I had like offered. It just comes about in conversation. People people send DMs all the time, asking questions, or is this possible to do it this way? You know, um, and that's how it begins, and then we dialogue from there and see what happens.
Yeah. I also really appreciate your packaging, just
Oh,
so you know.
thank you.
Like we here at our house are very eco-conscious,
Yes.
and I lately have been I found another person who sells like natural face products, and I, you know, when I get a package that is eco-friendly packed and recyclable and
Yeah.
just really intentional that way, it's like, yes. So I really
Yeah.
appreciate that about your packaging also.
Thank you.
I really do love that. It makes me feel good that I'm buying and supporting you, but also knowing that when I get your packages, like they are all recyclable and I can just,
Yes.
recycle them and reuse them and everything. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate that
Oh,
too.
thank you. That I take so much. I put a lot of care into the packaging, and that was also an evolution, and that was also learn better and do better as you learn better. But I'm happy to say, like, I'm completely plastic free on the packaging. Um, use recyclable where possible, and just like that new tissue paper I just ordered is also compostable.
Mm,
And I
nice.
the company sent me a badge to put on my website. For every product that we buy from that website, they plant a tree, and you get to pick what tree and in what country you want it planted. So they have this whole network.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think packaging I've been really mindful about, and I love my packaging right now. I really do.
I do
Like,
too.
and that's a part of the experience. Like, it comes to your house and you're like, I just got something in the mail. I don't want to see thousands of peanuts all over, or bubble wrap. I just
Right.
want that simple. It's all the only thing I have that does the installation is that the corrugated box material, which has
Yeah.
been great. Yeah,
Yeah.
keeps everything secure.
Yeah. So, the podcast is called Heart Centered Conversations. And,
Yeah,
just do you feel like what you're doing is your heart soul work?
yeah, I do, and I struggle with wanting to see this thing become something, but also wanting it to stay small and heart centered.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way I'm going. This year, I'm doing a huge, deep study into the Enneagram. And
Awesome.
so the Enneagram is like, I had just scratched the surface of the Enneagram. So now that I'm deep into it, I know that I'm like the heart subtype and lead from the heart and feel and process a lot through the heart. My heart gets me into a lot of trouble too. But it is the place, I think, from which the truth always comes, and the purest comes. So I definitely feel like I'm doing the work, my heart and soul work. I definitely feel like my passion is coming to life, and I definitely feel like this is something else working through me to give a service to somebody else.
Yeah. I can see
Yeah.
that in you, which is, as I kind of look more into the products that you have and are receiving more and seeing how things are, that it is so intentional. And I really feel like that is heart work in itself, to be that intentional, especially when you're sending out products to lots of people, to really
Yeah.
put the time into create something that supports somebody else. um, and I know that that takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of work to write those things out and to put that much. I mean, people, this is not just a little blurb about like this has lavender, cedarwood, and vetiver. Like it's a page of, kind of this page
Well,
of,
that is just for the subscribers for the month.
oh,
The
okay.
regular products, this is a very special gift I give to my subscribers because
It's still
yeah,
like in that sense, it's still pretty awesome. Yeah, I really enjoy that. And it still takes a lot of time and work to,
yeah,
to write all of that up and to sit with that product for a while before it goes out. I mean, all of that's really intentional. So
yeah.
Heart Center, the Heart Elixir. I can't remember what
So
it's
the
called.
Heart Chakra Elixir,
Okay.
also one of the ones from the beginning, kind of when you don't know what you're doing. So an elixir is really something that you drink.
Okay.
um, but I loved the name. I loved putting the heart chakra elixir into the name because I also thought it could be a potion, that an elixir could be a potion. And it just kind of stuck. And that was created from, I lost my mom like 8 or 9 years ago. And going through that process, like not doing any of this work at all. This came a little bit later, a couple of years later. But once I started working with the oils, I said there has to be a way to create something that's going to help us through this process because grief is so multi-layered and never linear and hits you in the weirdest times, in the weirdest ways.
Total
right?
spiralic. Yep.
Yeah. So I created that oil to honor endings, really. And endings can mean so many things. There's a finality to situations in life, either with your loved ones, passing on, or changes you make in your life. Any new direction that you take, you have to pivot from somewhere with an ending to begin.
Right.
Or friendships or relationships with love, intimate partners. There's always an ending and there's always something new. Well, we all know there's an ending, but in that ending, how can you support yourself through that grief? This is just one small tool that's going to offer you a little bit of comfort through the aroma therapy way, through the olfactory system. It is like a blanket that hugs you, but it just joins you on the journey you're already on.
I love that.
Which, yeah. And, that journey is very jagged.
Yeah.
So
what a beautiful product to come out of your experience. Yeah. Like that's awesome. You were getting ready to say something.
Thank you. Yeah. I experienced, an ending to a friendship that like really rocked my world. And that oil helped me a lot going through that. So I am the kind of person who I'm not uncomfortable honoring the shadow that comes with the light. I'm not uncomfortable sitting in uncomfortable feelings, like grief or sadness. I feel those just as deeply as I feel the joy and the all the good feelings that we feel. I think that you have to honor both. And I think that, people want to run away from those bad feelings. And what my oils are saying is like, here's a tool that's going to help you to sit through it. If you can't do it on your own, here's a small tool to help.
Yeah.
So yeah, that oil is a special one.
I can't wait to get it. I'm so excited. Where do you have a suggestion on where people should put the oil on their bodies?
Yeah, so on your body, I like to focus like mostly on your heart space right here because the oil will, rise up and, go into the olfactory system and conjure a feeling, conjure a memory. Wear it like a traditional perfume on your wrist, behind your neck. I roll them up and down my arms, and think a friend of mine told me that sometimes she writes her intention on her arm with
Oh,
her roller ball,
love
um,
that.
which I thought was a great idea. Um, I never roll them directly on my feet. I just don't want my feet skin on my roller. So I'll roll it on my hands and rub them on my feet for my rollers. But if you have the dropper, you can drop it anywhere. Um, the body oils in the bath water or directly out of the shower when you're still wet
Okay.
to lock in the moisture.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. Yeah. And like my chill, I just drop it in my hand and rub it. I smell it and I usually like rub it on my neck, here, and I get like the back. Sometimes I get it in my hair and just kind of,
Yep.
let it just so good. I can't
It's a
wait
good
to
one.
accumulate all of them.
Oh my God. Well, you have a good collection going
I
there. I
do
love
have a
that.
good collection. I do. There's that whole intention set. I want to start accumulating those, but I think I want to try to make my own. I
Yeah.
think I want to do that. Like I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good page to read through. It's got a
Okay.
lot of information on it. It's got a lot of like what each oil means, like the emotional aspect of each oil and what it could help you go through. And then I also have some recipes and like fragrance pairings. Like this one goes well with this one. So for someone who has no idea, they could go there and get a lot of information on how to put an oil together, create your own
Okay.
oil.
That sounds
Yeah.
awesome. And then we also kind of talked about like if somebody has a business, let's say they're a coach or yoga instructor or some way where they are working with clients that you can make or create a blend for them that they can give to their clients. Like
Yeah.
that's
So
also
something like
something that you
Nissa was
do.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another service I have been doing for the last couple of years, usually for women who are running either an online circle, because a lot of these circles are now online. I've done it with a couple of, leaders
Hmm.
and retreats. I've done retreats where the retreat facilitators will contact me and say, would you like to contribute to the goodie bag? And I've done that I also one time did, a friend of mine does subscription box and she puts all different products into her boxes and she asked, could you do something where we get a small bottle of one of your oils just so people get a taste for it. So I've done that. So I've done very small scale of like a 10-person retreat. Like I know my friend had about 120
Wow.
person box. I'm not sure. So yeah, I think I could accommodate probably up to 200. I said, yeah, I know I could. But that's another side of it where you branch off, So there's so
Yeah.
many little avenues in this that are so much fun for me. Like I love what I'm doing. I really love it.
I can tell. That's awesome. Okay. So we're coming to the end of our hour and I want to honor your
Okay.
time. So I have some questions. This is our
Sure.
ending questions. What
Okay.
was your biggest lesson of 2020?
Um, the biggest was it's okay not to have anything to do. I was always big on filling my time. 2020 gave us all pause and we were home as our families or just home and there was nothing that had to be done. So that was a lesson for me. Hard lesson at first, but then it gave me a lot of room in my life for pause and quiet.
Nice.
Yeah.
2020 did do that. Yes.
Yeah.
What is your go-to self-care ritual?
I like manicures and pedicures. But I love a good bath with like a nice like eucalyptus type mineral salt. bath. Those are really great when all those muscles are hurting. Come out of the bath and do a mask. Oh, that feels so luxurious
Yes,
to me.
that
And
sounds
not
nice.
something I get to do every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Are there any books that you're reading right now?
Right now I'm reading one of the books on the Enneagram because I'm doing a study. But what was the one I just downloaded? It's a good one. I'm just gonna pull my
Oh,
phone out and tell
yeah,
you.
I just bought an Enneagram book. I know hardly anything about Enneagrams, but I
It's
also, in my day job, am working with alumni of our non-for-profit agency. And so I thought it would be great for them to learn about Enneagrams. And I don't see my book around here, but the woman is Enneagram and Coffee, maybe? I don't remember.
Yeah, she has a podcast. I don't know her name.
It's her book.
Um, yeah. Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about. So we started with the book of Chris Hewart before we found out Chris Hewart has some controversy around him. But we're finishing out the book. I'm doing it in a small book study with my girlfriend. But really, what I knew of the Enneagram was just scratching the surface. It is so deep and so complicated, and just a wonderful tool for self-development.
So do you think you'll develop some oils around each type?
I don't know. I was thinking about that. One of my girlfriends for the holidays, she got our little girl group. She found at a company they had roller bottles dedicated to the Enneagram and your number, and she got us all that for Christmas, and we made our blends. It is something I could do, but I mean, this Enneagram is so complex. I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know.
last question. Do you have a
Yeah.
word or intention for 2021?
Um, my word was recovery in the sense of recovery from what was 2020, like, yeah. So just recovery.
Recovery.
Yeah.
I like that.
Another word I really was throwing around was belonging. I've used that, had that guiding word before, but recovery seemed like more fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you so much. So how
Thank
can
you.
people find you? So I will put all of your information in the show notes, but tell us how they
Yeah.
can find you.
Okay. The best ways are through Instagram. It's just Intention Blends. My website is intentionblends.com. And my new love is TikTok, where I now am making it's a small business TikTok video
Ooh,
of like what happens behind the scenes. It's so much fun. I'm having fun with it.
ooh,
So I'm also Intention Blends over there if you want to follow
cool.
me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Well,
thank you
thank you
so
so
much,
much.
Bella, for being
Thank
with me and
you.
telling me all about this amazing heart-centered business that you have and the work that you're doing out in the world to support all of us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
This was a lot of fun.
Thank you. You have a great day. Thank
All
you,
right. You
everyone
too.
listening to this podcast, and grace and gratitude. Namaste.